athletes, this is Coach McVeigh, and usually during this week and around this time in June, we would be having our basketball camp. And unfortunately, due to the circumstances of COVID and different things with coronavirus, we are not able to have basketball camp in June. And so we wanted to create some content for you that you could be able to practice in your front yard, maybe in your backyard on the patio or in your driveway. And maybe you don't have a basketball hoop like we have here. Maybe you just have a place to dribble and a ball. And we want to show you some things that you can do during this time to get better, to still have fun, and still enjoy the game of basketball. So we'll be doing a lot of things with just the basketball, showing footwork and different drills that you can practice right now to get better and still have a ton of fun getting outside and playing the game that you love. So we're looking forward to showing you those videos each and every day, and we're looking forward to getting better each and every day. All right, so the first thing we're going to work on is our footwork. Footwork is so important. If you don't have a good foundation, there is no way that you're going to be able to build a house upon it. And so if you think about it that way as building a house, it's the same thing with our body. If our footwork are not correct, then it's really going to be hard for the rest of our body to do the right thing. And so right away, we're going to start with a very simple but really important pivoting drill. And so here's how it works. You're going to choose which foot. Now, as you look at me, you can choose, I'm a righty, so I shoot with my right hand. So I'm going to use my right foot to be the pivot foot. My left foot is going to stay on the ground. I'm allowed to pivot like this in any direction while still keeping my left foot down. So what we're going to do here is we're going to hold the ball, and we're going to talk about triple threat in just a moment, but we're going to hold the ball in triple threat, and what you're going to do is you're going to pivot in the positions of a clock. So 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then you're going to come back and you're going to go 12 o'clock, and then 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then even 9 o'clock. Now obviously you can go all the way back here, so you can even add that in as you get going into it and you're feeling that confidence of being able to go all the way back. Here are the key things though. We want to pretend like forward is the basketball hoop or even our teammates. So we never want to get in a position where we pivot and we do this, where we turn our body away from our teammates and the basket. So we want to be in a position where our eyes are always up. That's the other thing we want to focus on here. Eyes are up, we see the court, we see the basket, and we're able to see our teammates as well. So work on that pivoting drill. We'll call it the clock pivot, where we actually step into our different positions just like a clock, and we work on our pivot out of that. So give that a shot right now. Clock pivot. The next thing we want to focus on is actually triple threat. So this goes along with the pivot drill that you just practiced, the clock pivot, but how do you hold the ball when you're pivoting? What's the important things that you can do? Well, if you just catch a ball, there are actually 3 things that you can do with that ball. The first one is, I'm going to give you a second and you can start yelling them out if you know, but the first one is you can always shoot, right? Everyone loves to shoot. So they catch it, and if they're close, they love to fire it up. That's okay. Shooting is one option. The second option is you can actually dribble. So maybe you catch it, and a lot of people love to dribble. So they start dribbling all over the place, towards the basket, towards their teammates, wherever, trying to go to space. So the second thing is dribble. The third one is actually pass. So you can catch it and be in a position where you can pass the ball. The most important thing is to have those 3 capabilities is to be in triple threat. So be in a position where you have those options available to you. By holding the ball in certain positions consistently, you eliminate your ability to have those triple threat abilities and options. So here is a way that I encourage you to hold the ball as much as possible. There are times where you're going to hold it up high and hold it down low, but we want to hold it in the core of our body. So as you pivot and you work on your pivoting here, you want to hold it where you can pass, you can go right into your shot, and you can also go right into a dribble. There isn't a specific spot exactly. I mean, here is the most natural, but you can hold it up a little bit if you need to. You can bring it down, rip it through, all of that. So we're gonna add in a rip through right now to work on our pivot. So you're pivoting and you're also working on your triple threat rip through. So you could be on this side pivot. So you would go 3 here, and then you would actually rip through and go 9 here, like the clock we were talking about. You can go 12, and then you can bring it through to the 3 and then act like you're gonna pass it here. You can add in little different elements, so you can act like you're gonna pass it or act like you're gonna fake and then take a little jab step, and we're gonna add to that. But that's what we wanna work on with our triple threat. 3 options, keep the ball nice and close in a position where you have all the ability to make those 3 options. When you do that, you become harder to guard. And when you're harder to guard, it makes the game easier for you. And when the game's easier for you, it just means it's more fun. So let's work on our triple threat along with our pivoting. Here we go. Our next step in the footwork series here is how to catch a ball with your footwork ready to go, with your feet ready. A lot of people catch the ball in a position like this, where their triple threat is not really effective because they're not ready to shoot, they're really not ready to pass, and they're not really even ready to dribble fully. We want to be in a position where we look hungry and ready for the ball. So I'm hungry, I want it, I'm ready to go, my feet are ready to move and be in the correct position. So here's how you're going to work on this. You're going to actually spin the ball to yourself. Now, if you're at home and you have your mom or dad or brother and sister that's with you, that's perfect. They can pass you the ball. But what you want to do is be hungry, and your eyes show that you're hungry, your hands show that you're hungry, and even your feet show that you're hungry. When you spin the ball, you're going to spin the ball or get past the ball. When you catch it, you want your footwork to be ready to go, right into triple threat. So you're here, you're ready to shoot, you're ready to dribble, and you're ready to pass off of that. Okay, so here's how it'll work if you're by yourself. You'd spin it to yourself, boom, catch, ready to go. Now notice my feet aren't actually straight on. I don't shoot the ball like this. That's really weird, actually. You want to actually turn your feet to the side a little bit so it's natural for you to get your arm, your elbow under the ball. We'll talk about that more, but here's what you're going to work on right now. Spin it to yourself, catch it, ready to go, triple threat. You can add a jab in there, a little stationary where you're moving your feet and pivoting off of it. So spin it, catch, shot, just like that. Work on that aspect of catching the ball, ready to shoot, dribble, or pass. Another aspect of footwork is the defensive side. Now, I've talked a lot about the offense, but we need to talk about the defense because, as many say, defense wins championships. If you can get stops, if you can stop your opponent from scoring, it makes it easier on you to be able to win the game. And so we want to talk about footwork on the defensive end. There's a lot of things we can go into, but right now we're going to do a very simple move where it's the sideways shuffle. You're going to be sliding your feet. A couple key things here is you don't want to overlap your feet. This is a very unathletic position, so you can't move quickly out of this position. So you want to move your feet so they move like this, in this direction. Now notice I'm on my toes, I'm not flat-footed like this, and I'm also trying to move in quick bursts. Boom, boom, I'm over here, boom, boom, I'm over here. So if you have a little section that you can go into and slide to the side on, that's perfect. This works in multiple things. It also works on the offensive side. When you see a guy open or a teammate who has the ball and you think you're open but you need to move a little bit, you slide to the side, catch, and ready to shoot. On the defensive end, we need to slide our feet to stay in front of the person we're guarding, the offense. So sometimes it might be angled, and we'll talk about that later, where you actually angle your body to get in front. And other times, it might be just to slide it to stay in front of them completely on a trap, or even if you're able to beat them to a spot. So here's what you're gonna work on. Sideways shuffle, couple shuffles to the side. So 1, 2, like that, 1, 2, like that, 1, 2, and you have your hands up, your eyes up, and you're gonna feel it in your legs as you do these sideways shuffles, but it'll make you a better player, it'll make you a better defender, and it'll make you better on the offensive end as well. So let's try some sideways shuffles to get a little sweaty and to get that heart rate up. Here we go. All right, the final aspect of today, the first day of our footwork, is we want to end with some shooting. I love shooting. I think a lot of people love shooting, and so we want to end with a fun game that you can play that's competitive. If you have your brother or sister or even your mom and dad that you want to go up against, this is perfect if you have a basketball hoop with you. If you don't, I'm going to show you a different way that you can play a game that could be competitive still. So here's how it works. We want to catch the ball ready to shoot. We already talked about that, and now we're actually going to shoot. I'm not going to go into all the footwork and the positioning of your hands and all of that today because it takes a little while, but we do want to shoot. And we want to end with that. So here's how it's going to work. Remember what we said. Catch, ready to shoot. Triple threat. Ready to dribble, ready to pass, ready to shoot. And so here's how it's going to work. You're either going to spin the ball to yourself, ready to shoot, and you're actually going to shoot, or you're going to have someone pass you the ball. I'm going to show you based off a basketball hoop, and here's how it works. You make it competitive. See how many times, how many shots you can make in a row with the ball being passed to you, catch and shoot. So start close and just work on that footwork of getting in the right spot, ready to go. This form right here, boom, and then right up into your shot consistently. See how many you can get. It's a little windy outside. It's different than being inside. Inside, there's no wind and there's nothing to excuse it away. Outside, it makes it harder, but it makes you better. And so let's work on that. I'm gonna start close and just show you how it looks. Hopefully I'll make one here or there, but see how many you can get in a row. Once you make one, that starts your streak. So if you only make one and you miss the next one, you made one. Your partner gets to go. And then your goal maybe is to make 5 in a row. Which person gets there first? Maybe it's 4. You can kind of decide, and you can do these anywhere you want. I would say start closer and work your way further back as you gain confidence and working on that footwork. All right, so here's how it looks. I'm gonna start right here on the side. I'm gonna spin the ball. I'm hungry, I'm ready for it. I'm gonna spin the ball, catch, and then I'll go up for my shot, just like that. All right, so that was one. So now I have one. If I miss this, I'm done with my round. I would switch, or I would go to a different spot. If I make it, I keep going. So I'm gonna catch, ready to shoot, catch, up for the shot. Oh, a little short. So that would be one for me, okay? You would keep practicing that to see how many you can get in a row. Now, for those that don't have a basketball hoop, which stinks, I wish you did, but if you don't have one, you can use a line. We call this line shooting. So you're actually gonna catch the ball, and I'm gonna show you over here. You're gonna catch the ball near the line. Now remember, your feet aren't gonna be straight on the line. They're actually gonna be turned so that your elbow is straight with the line. And you're gonna catch it, and you're gonna have to shoot it above your head and hit the line. And that counts as a point. So here's how it works. You spin it, catch, shot, and you try to hit the line. Ooh, I was a little bit to the right, so that one doesn't count. So I haven't made one yet. Here we go, ready to shoot, catch, hit that line. A little bit to the left, still off a little bit. So you're trying to hit that line. So I'm here, make sure my elbow's in the right position. There it is, that's the line right there. So work on line shooting or how many consecutive you can make in a row as you catch, ready to shoot. Working on our footwork. Hey, what's up, athletes? We usually have 2 different competitions throughout basketball camp that we compete in. And I want to challenge you to try this. If you have a hoop at home, to try these 2 and see how good you can do. The first one is free throws. What we would do is have our older groups shoot 10 free throws each day, and they would keep track of how many free throws they made in each day. So at the end of the 5 days, you would have 50 total free throws that you shot, and then you would see how many you made. All right, so I'm gonna see how close you can get to 50. So all you would do for this is shoot 10 free throws each day and mark that down. I made 4 out of 10. I made 7 out of 10. I made 8 out of 10. And the goal is that you improve each and every day off your free throws. And then by the end of day 5, you can see how many did I make out of 50 and was there improvement throughout. If you don't feel confident shooting from the free throw line yet, many of you are younger elementary or mid-elementary and you want to shoot closer, that's totally fine. The idea is to get these shots up and be competitive and see how well you can do. Hello, athletes. We have 2 competitive things that we do each year that we'd love to do that are fun competitions for all of our athletes, and one of them is Hotshots. And so we try to do this with our older group, and we try to do it as effectively as possible. And I want to show you how it works. And you can have your parents or a friend of yours or a family member time it for you, and it's called Hotshots. So Hotshots. The other one is free throws, and we should have a different video for that. But this is Hotshots, and here's how it works. There is what we call a half court, which would be actually the first one that we have is the 3-point line. In the 3-point line, you start from half court, but you run to the 3-point line. That is worth 5 points if you make a 3-pointer. The next one is the elbows, the wings of the free throw line. So like right on the elbow, the free throw line is here, the elbows. Those are worth 4 points on either side. On the side, the baseline, mid-range is 3, so it's a little bit closer, obviously, than the 4s are. And the 1s are underneath the basket on both sides. Now, if you're older and it's easy for you to make 1s, then don't just sit there and shoot 1s. The goal is that you go to these other 3s and 4s and even 5s and see how big of a score you can get. If you just do 1s, you're not really working on too much, all right? If you shoot at every position, you automatically get 5 points. 5 points added in, okay? So I'm gonna show you how it works. I'm gonna see what I get. Maybe you can beat me and we'll see how that goes. But try to do this every day as a fun shooting drill if you want to, or maybe just every other day, or just one day, just to give it an opportunity to see. But I encourage you to try it at least a couple of times so that you can work towards improvement and getting a higher score and maybe figuring out the strategy. So 1 minute on the clock, and then we go for it, all right? I'm gonna keep the count in my head. Here we go. 1 minute, go. I got 2. Oh. There it is, I got 5. A little long there. 30 seconds left, I got 9 plus 5, so 14. I like shooting the 4s. Those are my favorites. A little long on my shots here, so 18. Oh. Athletes, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you're a little sweaty like I am. It's nice and hot out here today. Perfect day to get a sweat, get better, and learn the game and improve your basketball skills. So work on that footwork. Remember the pivot. Remember the triple threat. Remember all the options you have off of that. And then remember how you catch, ready to shoot, and finish that shot off. Thanks for joining in today. We'll see you tomorrow.